Do I look okay? Oh, my thing's about to die. Hold up. We back in this bitch. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie Zatz and I love to make videos for you guys, and I know I took a long break. I have a lot to update you guys about, but I'm not going to be doing it in this video. I am today instead going to be doing my long-awaited review of the Pixel Hoop Pro HD from the company called PixelLights on Etsy. I'm like already out of breath. Why am I out of breath? This video is not sponsored. However, they did gift me this hoop for free and sent it to me all the way from Russia and asked me to give my honest review. And if you know me, if you've ever asked me any questions about any LED hoops, I am very, very honest because these things are not cheap and I wouldn't want you to spend your money on something that you don't like. So I'm very honest when it comes to my LED hoop reviews. I'm gonna be very thorough in this review and hopefully touch base on every single thing you guys might have questions about. If you have any questions though about the hoop and I didn't address something in the video, just drop a comment below and I would be happy to answer your question. So before we talk about the actual hoop, let's just talk shipping. So they shipped me this hoop back in October. However, I did not receive it until I want to say like beginning of December. And as I mentioned before, this hoop came all the way from Russia and I am in Florida. So it did take some time to get here, but obviously with COVID, it was probably delayed even a little bit more. I was honestly shocked that I even got it by December because I thought it was gonna take at least 3 months to get to me. It only took like a month and a half, 2 months to get this to me, so not too bad. And then the hoop arrived in a package. 1 second, let me go grab that package. So when the hoop arrived, it came in a much larger version of one of these, and I wanted to like shit my pants when the hoop came because I was like, there's no way in hell this hoop is not broken because it came inside of a freaking poly mailer all the way from Russia. So I was a little bit nervous. However, inside of that poly mailer was this like literal pool noodle, and the hoop was encased inside of it and it was coiled down a little bit. So once I saw this, I was like, okay, there's no way the hoop got water damage because it's inside of a freaking pool noodle and I'm sure the water would just, you know, slide right off of it. So I was still kind of questioning whether or not this hoop was gonna be broken, but it was not. So yeah, it comes like in a pool noodle inside of a poly mailer, and all my other hoops have always come in a pizza box. So as you can imagine, I was just kind of like, what the f when I saw the poly mailer, and I really did think the hoop was gonna be broken, but it was not. So if you decide to order, just know it's gonna come in one of these, inside of one of these, So straight out of the packaging, you get the hoop, you get a USB charging cord with a wall charger, and then you also get the manual that comes with the hoop. This thing is very, very detailed and it pretty much explains everything about the hoop. So some details about my hoop. It is called the Pixel Hoop Pro HD. It's 3/4 tubing, but on here it says 1.9 centimeters. I guess that is just like 3/4 in a, what's a metric system? Is that a metric system? This size is 64 centimeters, which comes out to be like 25.5. It's the smallest size they offer, and I wanted to go with the smallest one because I like my hoops to be 5/8 when I'm working with LEDs because I have really bad carpal tunnel in my wrist, and 3/4 just really, really hurt my wrist. It's not too heavy of a hoop at all. It's just my personal preference. I like 5/8. This hoop does not come in 5/8, so I just decided I would go with the smallest diameter and the 3/4 so that it would compensate for the weight difference, so that makes sense. According to this paper, there are 120 LEDs and it uses a lithium 900 mAh 3.7 V battery. That's like the same battery as like most regular smart hoops. And then the average running time is 120 minutes and the full charge time is 7 hours. So if you're gonna get this hoop and you have it for a performance or a festival, make sure you charge it overnight because it does take 7 hours to fully charge. But I do think the hoop does last longer than the 120 minutes that it says it lasts because I had this hoop on, I think, for like 4 hours when our power went out one time. So I would say it definitely lasts a little bit longer than 2 hours, but I guess it all depends on which modes you have on because different modes will drain the lights differently, if that makes sense, and the battery differently. So as mentioned before, it comes with one of these. It's a regular USB to a mini USB. That is how the hoop charges. It has a little port right here, very similar to the Future Hoop Designer by Mood Hoops with this little USB port. I really love charging my hoops this way. It's my preferred method of charging it when I'm just using my hoops at home. However, when I'm at a festival, I like to have hoops with removable batteries. That way, if my hoop dies, I can just juice up another battery in there and get back to hooping. But with this, it's probably not the best for a festival because you have to charge it for 7 hours and it's also non-removable batteries. So you won't be able to play with it unless you charge it for 7 hours. So it's kind of good for like at-home use or performances, I would say, but probably not the best for a music festival. On the manual, it also says that you can add up to 50 images. However, I would say that you can add up to more images because I made a show that had more than 50 images and they all showed up on here. And then I also added extra modes onto the hoop hoop in a different way, and all of the modes also showed up on there. I don't really know if there is exactly 50 images or if it's more so dependent on like the file size, which I think might be how it works. I have absolutely no idea when it comes to the tech side of things, but when I made my show using the modes for the hoop, I did end up adding more than 50. I don't know how. PixelLights, if you have an answer, let me know, but I did somehow add more than 50 modes on this hoop, so I don't know. So we talked about weight, but one thing that I really find important when it comes to LED hoops is whether or not the smart hoop is balanced, because for me personally, I cannot do my palm spins or hand spins if my hoop is not balanced. Likewise, coin flips are a lot harder for me to do if my hoop is not balanced. So when I'm looking for an LED hoop, I personally am looking at whether or not the hoop is balanced. This hoop, I can probably say, is very, very balanced. It's actually better balanced than some of my mood hoops. My mood hoops with non-removable batteries tend to be better balanced than the ones with removable batteries, and this one is just top notch. I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't be balanced, but it is 100% balanced. I can do palm spins with it. I can do everything. Ooh. I can do palm spins with it. I can literally do everything with this hoop. So yeah, it's definitely balanced. Super important, at least to me. So if it's important to you, then you can know that this hoop is balanced. I don't know whether to tell you guys the thing that I dislike the most about the hoop now or if I should do it later. I guess I'll do it now. So the thing that I don't like about this hoop is that when your hoop gets delivered, it's coiled down, as I mentioned, in that little pool noodle, so something like this, but inside of the pool noodle. And as you can see, the only way to close it is to just stick this one piece into the other. And you close it. And then here's the part that I really it's a little stickler and I just don't like it. Ignore the cut on my hand. I don't know how to cut garlic, but the hoop came with this little plastic rivet, just one of them. And basically in the instruction manual, what it says to assemble the hoop is you just stick this little rivet into the spot and it closes the hoop just like a button. Focus. I don't like this at all. I am so sorry. There are so many other cool things about this hoop that I will get to, but I cannot stand this. My gripe with this is that if I'm at a festival and I'm going really hard, or I let someone borrow my hoop for 2 seconds and for some reason this somehow pops out, because I have obviously no issue pulling it out with my finger, and I'm weak, okay? I'm very weak, you guys. I have no issue pulling it out. It does snap in, so it does feel like secure when you put it in. But if I'm at a festival or like I'm on stage performing, I would not trust this. Period. So the manual actually suggests if you want to permanently close the hoop, you can put in a permanent rivet, which looks like this. There's actually a rivet right here, this little metal thing. So I might just do that if it comes down to it. But yeah, just this little closure thing alone, I would not feel safe performing with this. 1000%, I probably would not grab this hoop, which sucks because it's a really, really beautiful hoop. And I'm gonna get some more of like the specs with the LEDs and stuff in a bit. But it's a gorgeous hoop, but this little thing, man, I just can't get behind it. It's really the only thing. And they also only send one. So if you lose it, that's it. You have to go to the hardware store and go find another one. I don't know, I just personally don't like it. My favorite type of closure is malfunction. My favorite type of closure is, I can't do it this way. My favorite type of closure is this push button system. I don't like how this one opens. I prefer my hoops to close with this little push button mechanism instead, because there's 2 holes, and then I know that my hoop is secured. It's not going anywhere because the push button is all the way through. It's locked and it's not going to open. I just don't know if I would trust this for a festival, for a performance. If you lose that rivet, you're shit out of luck. It's done, it's gone. And like, look how small it is too. It's so small. It's also just so small that I don't think you would find it like at a festival if it were to fall out, you know? So I just don't think that closure needs a little bit of work, PixelLights, but other than that, let me get into more of the hoop about why I love this so much. I do have my fair share of other smart hoops, and I have ones that are customizable, some that aren't customizable. The cool thing about the Pixel Hoop Pro is that it is fully customizable, but the reason why this hoop tops all of the other customizable hoops out there is because PixelLights came up with the software that literally shows you what every single mode looks like in action before you load it onto the hoop. So a common problem that I have with my future hoop designer, for an example, is that I have to plug her into my computer, and then I drag and drop the modes onto the hoop, just like a USB drive. But then I have to unplug the hoop from my computer, turn it on, and just basically watch the hoop and just play with it and just watch all the modes go in a cycle to make sure that they're A, fitted to the hoop, and B, that they're in the right order if you have a preference for the mode order. I don't, but some people do, so whatever. I'm gonna show you guys an up close of the software here. So as you can see, there's just a cat, and they have so many different types of modes on the software already, but you can also add your own modes on, and it's super easy to do that because they also have another software that's called Pixel Converter. Yeah, basically they have this app called the Pixel Converter in addition to their PixelLights software, where you can see all the modes, and on the Pixel Converter you can drag and drop any photo onto it and it'll resize the mode to fit your hoop perfectly. And then all you have to do is go into the Pixel Lighter software, drag and drop that fitted mode into the software, and then you can see it previewing on the hoop. And it's really, really helpful. And this makes it so much easier to know what the modes are gonna look like, because if you're just drag and dropping the modes, say like on a future hoop designer, again, you don't know what the mode's gonna look like until you're actually using the hoop. The other cool thing that I like about this is that you can like scale the images to different sizes. You can also change how fast or slow the modes go, which is so cool. You can even distort the modes a little bit. You can change the lightness of the mode, the saturation of the mode, and even the hue. So you can change the color of your modes, which I think is just so cool. And there really, truly is no other hoop out there that has this type of software available, as far as I know. And just for someone like me who just doesn't really care to put their own modes on the hoop, this is something that actually makes me want to put my own modes on the hoop for once, because I can actually see them in action on my computer before I load them onto the hoop, which makes my life so much easier. You will literally never find me putting modes on my future hoops, but I'm already loading so many modes onto my Pixel hoop because it's just so easy, and I can literally see all the modes before they're onto the hoop. And then also you can create shows to audio. So if you have a certain song, and let's say you're doing a performance, you can load that audio into the Pixel Lighter software and then drag and drop your modes and time each of those modes. So if you want your modes to change with the song, you can do that. So it's really, really cool. It's super versatile. They have tons of tutorials on their Instagram, on their IGTV, and on their YouTube channel that show you exactly how to load the modes onto the hoop. So I'm gonna save you guys that tutorial because it took me quite a while to figure it out, and it's a lot simpler than it is. I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out, but it's really, really simple. So definitely check out those tutorials if you are interested in getting this hoop. If you wanna learn a little bit more on how to upload the modes, watch those tutorials. They are super helpful and super in-depth. Next, I just want to show you how many LEDs you are and then also, most importantly, because I went over the push button and that's how you turn on most of these hoops. Since this hoop doesn't have a push button, the only way to turn it on is via this little joystick right here. So you can just push it and you have to hold it for a little bit and then the hoop turns on. And then to turn it off, you just hold it, and it shows like how much battery is left before it turns off all the way. So just waiting for it to show that there's the battery. It's lit up right now, and then you just let go and then the hoop is off. So yeah, it's just a little joystick similar to the Astral Evoke, but the Astral Evoke joystick goes up, down, side to side. This does not. It just presses in once and that's it. Again, their tutorials are really great and they explain literally how to use the entire hoops. I just recommend watching those because I'm probably not the best at explaining them. But I also just want to show you guys how many LEDs you're getting and kind of compare them to the prices of other LED hoops, for example. So this Pixel Hoop Pro HD hoop, as you can see, it's got a lot of LEDs and they're all really tightly and nicely packed in there. There really are a lot of LEDs on this hoop, and as you can see when I'm using it in the videos, it is so damn bright. It's like double LEDs on an Astral Evoke. That's how bright it is. It's so dang bright. This is the HD version of the Future Hoop Designer, and as you can see, this one also has a lot of LEDs and it's very tightly coiled, lots of LEDs. This hoop is also very, very bright. So I would compare these two together because brightness and LED wise, they are around the same. Let me compare prices for you. So the hoop that PixelLights sent me is the Pixel Hoop Pro HD, and it has all the full kit. It's the full capabilities, so I can Wi-Fi sync it. I have access to the Pixel Lighter software, all that goodie. And for this hoop specifically, for the full kit, it is priced at $359 with free shipping all the way from Russia. So $359. And from Mood Hoops, for pretty much the same exact hoop, you're looking at around $430. So this one is just slightly more expensive, but this also doesn't include shipping. I think shipping's between $15 and $20. So you're paying significantly more for this hoop from Mood Hoops than you are for this hoop from PixelLights, and they're pretty much the same hoop. So you can decide which one you go with. Obviously with the Pixel hoop, you're gonna have to wait 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months for shipping, and Mood Hoops is a lot quicker than that, but you are getting pretty much the same capabilities, if not more, since you get software with this hoop than this hoop. But I would say this hoop is definitely the most comparable to the Mood Hoops Future Hoop designer. Just to compare, here is the Pixel hoop. In the middle is a Future Hoop designer with standard LEDs, and as you can see, the LEDs are spread out a little bit wider. And the blue hoop is the Future Hoop designer with HD LEDs. So as you can see, it's a lot more similar to this Pixel hoop on the right. And the Pixel hoop definitely has more LEDs than the standard version of the Future Hoop designer. So these two are most similar, and the blue one is significantly more. So do whatever you want with that information. So yeah, I think I touched upon everything. I also went live on Instagram earlier and asked people for some last minute questions, but basically we touched upon the weight. I would say it's an average weight for an LED hoop, not too heavy at all. Definitely not too light though, it's just kind of in between. I do wish they had a 5/8 version of it. They don't, it only comes in 3/4 polypro, but it is what it is. You can always get the smallest size. Another thing is that they only offer 4 sizes. So again, it just kind of sucks because they don't have the size that I would typically use. But again, the price kind of evens out with that, so it is what it is. We discussed if the batteries can be charged. The hoop has internal batteries that are non-removable, so you must use this bad boy to juice her up. And again, it takes 7 hours to charge, but I personally have gotten at least 2.5 to 3 hours of play out of one single charge of that hoop. And then lastly is a balanced. Hell yeah, it's very balanced. It's much more balanced than my removable battery Future hoops, and obviously these are a little bit rattly, which I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is. I was gonna show you the LEDs of my HD Astral Evoke, but you can't literally see anything because it's like padded. Oh, and then another thing I wanted to go over is that this hoop, the internal build of it, it's so sturdy. There's no rattle or anything, but there's also, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like so much cushion in this hoop. Like these batteries will not be moving. They are cushioned in there, and the hoop is just very, very sturdy. Whereas when you're looking at a Future hoop, it feels just as sturdy. Like it doesn't feel like it's gonna fall apart, obviously, but there's just less inside, you know? There's just not this like extra cushion or padding in here. So definitely a different build. All my smart hoops have been like completely different on the inside, but yeah, I really do love this hoop. I really, really love the software. Like for the first time ever, I'm actually excited to put my own modes on the hoop. The only problem I have, ooh, acid reflux, hold up. But the only problem I have is this little rivet button deal. I just wish it was a push button. I would feel much more comfortable taking this to a festival or a performance if it had a push button. So that's the only thing that I have wrong with it. I really do love the hoop otherwise. This is a dead ass honest review. If you have any other questions about any other hoops, I'm always happy to answer. You can either leave a comment below or get into my Instagram DMs, and I will probably get back to you in a week to 2 weeks, but I will get back to you. I will try my best to. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to hit that, wait, I forgot my, wait. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you would like to see me review any of my other LED hula hoops, let me know, because I got a ton of them and I could talk about hoops literally all day. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. It would really mean the world to me, and it's a free way to support your girl. And also, don't forget to smash that like button for me and help my engagement on this video. Leave a comment if you're feeling nice, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah! Bye!